On Monday, the United States Supreme Court overturned decades of precedent governing the separation of church and state, and achieved one of the most long-standing goals of the Christian right, the return of official Christian prayer to public schools. Kennedy v. Bremerton School District had a strange path to the Supreme Court. Initially filed in 2015, the case concerns Joseph Kennedy, formerly a public high school football coach from a Seattle suburb, who sued the community that used to employ him for religious discrimination after the school objected to his habit of making public, ostentatious Christian prayers on the 50. Kennedy has lost at the district and circuit levels. He moved to Florida in 2019, which technically should have rendered his case moot. But the Supreme Court agreed to hear his case anyway. This week, they ruled in his favor, 6-3. The facts of what happened with Coach Kennedy at the school district are contested, but only because Kennedy himself keeps revising them. In allowing Coach Kennedy to pray publicly at school, while conducting his official duties as a public official, Justice Neil Gorsuch, writing for the majority, characterized the prayers this way: Mr. Kennedy prayed during a period when school employees were free to speak with a friend, call for a reservation at a restaurant, check email, or attend to other personal matters. He offered his prayers quietly while his students were otherwise occupied. Sam Alito, in his concurrence, claimed that Kennedy acted in a purely private capacity. That's Kennedy's version of events. But evidence suggests things looked different. In her dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor cast doubt on the idea that the coach offered his prayers quietly, while his students were otherwise occupied. She included a photograph of Coach Kennedy at one of his game night prayers. In the picture, he stands surrounded by a dense group of dozens of high school football players, uniformed and kneeling at his feet. Kennedy is speaking with a football helmet in his hand, stretched high above his head in what looks like a gesture of command. Spectators can be seen in the background, looking on from the stands. Quiet and private this was not. The court held that the school was required to allow this, that in attempting to maintain separation of church and state, as is required by the First Amendment's Establishment Clause, they were actually infringing on Coach Kennedy's free exercise rights.